Welcome to the Workforce Australia Self-Employment and Entrepreneurship Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Turner. Join me for real talk, tips and tricks from entrepreneurs who've walked the walk. I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which we're meeting today, the Bundjalung people, and to pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. We are truly privileged to live, play and work on this piece of land. Those of you who've had the pleasure of dining here at Lola Dining in Ballina know what a gastronomic delight it is. A true COVID baby, Lola was conceived and born and flourished during the pandemic years. Featured in Gourmet Traveller just months after opening and more recently being awarded a chef's hat at the Good Food Guide Awards. Today, I'm super excited to be chatting with Olivia Serrano, one of the owners of Lola Dining. Thank you so much for joining us today, Olivia.
Thank you for having me.
So good to see you. I always love coming here, usually to eat. Tell me a little bit about your background and your partner's background, Rosa, how you kind of came to be in Australia initially, because you're not originally from here, right?
No, I am originally from Spain, and Rosa is Italian. And I came to Australia because I wanted to get out of Spain and expand a little bit my horizons.
And we're all trying to go to Spain.
I know it's funny because sometimes, anyway. And I had some friends I just met in Barcelona. They were Australians, and they kind of sold me Australia pretty well.
Nice. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, just packing up my bags and go for an adventure.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And for Rosa, she came to Australia because she was living in London, and she loved London, but she didn't really like the weather. It was not working for her, and so she had the option to go back to Italy, or I don't know. She's
come to somewhere where there was amazing weather.
amazing weather. So yeah, I think that was
yeah, beautiful. So you both didn't meet until you were in Australia?
We met in 2017, I want to say, something like that. Yeah, we were together.
In Sydney?
In Sydney. We worked together in Sydney in a restaurant called Chichisan, which is in Post Point.
Yeah, a well-known restaurant. I bet they were sorry to lose you.
Yeah, it was fun. We had a lot of fun, and I think for both of us, she wanted to work in a little bit more Asian, it's Japanese, so it's completely Asian cuisine, because she's a little bit more towards Italian and Mediterranean.
Yeah.
And I am fascinated as well about Asian cuisine, and I think that was one of the great things about Australia, that there were so many influences.
Yeah.
That I loved it, and working with Asian restaurants. And,
we're very spoilt for choice here, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So what inspired, I guess, your love of food and your desire to work in hospitality originally?
Well, for Rosa, her parents had a restaurant in South Italy. So for her, it has always been...
in the blood.
She was opening oysters at 6 years old and doing stuff at the restaurant. So it's in her. She was born into it. I think even she wanted to study other things, and her dad said, no, you're going to be a chef, and that's what you're going to do. So she's just been bred in the hospitality industry. And for me, it was a little bit not similar, because my family didn't have a restaurant, but it has always had a big culture of having people over, inviting people, have a big family. So I've always been really pro sharing food and people.
Yeah, really hospitable and warm.
Yeah. So I think it was... I didn't have the professional aspect of it, but I did have the other side of feeling connected with food and people at the same time.
Yeah, nice. I think that's something that's quite woven into Spanish culture, right?
Yeah. Like, I have friends over always at my grandma's for my birthdays or other people's birthdays. I all kind of bring this one, and it's like,
Yeah.
Doesn't matter when.
With lots of food.
Yes, a lot of food. It's a lot of food, and it's the only thing you think about in food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's a bit
No
obsessive.
intermittent fasting.
No, I don't think Spanish people know about that.
No, okay. So you relocated to Sydney from COVID, didn't you?
Yeah. It was actually a timing thing. Like I decided to move here in February.
Okay.
And we were gonna go overseas to visit the family and all that. And then COVID just happened. It just
Surprise.
in March. In March things start to happen and shutting down. And so it was a little bit accidental. Like I was
happy accident.
It was nice. I mean, it was a little bit nice and not nice because suddenly I moved into a town where we were in lockdown. The dynamics of you moving to a place and for a job, getting friends and all that, it was interrupted, and we couldn't do that. So I think that was why we focused in opening a restaurant.
Yeah. So what made you choose Ballina as somewhere to relocate?
Well, I didn't.
Okay. So we've got Rosa to thank for this.
Yeah. When she was living in Sydney, she actually traveled to the Northern Rivers, and she really loved it because she comes from a little town in the south of Italy, and I think she misses the connection with people.
Yeah.
And so she moved from South Italy to London, which is a big city, and then to Sydney, which is a big city as well. So I think it was on a point where she was missing that. She was only focused on working, and she came traveling.
Community.
Yeah, she came and she was like, wow, people randomly on the beach, they say hello to you, and a shop, you go and coffee, and they just have random chat with people that generally have time for the answer when they ask you, how are you? So I think really captured her that sense of community here. So she decided, was like, I'm leaving the big city and I'm moving to the...
Yeah. That's something that I can really attest to as well. Also being a fellow escapee from Sydney during COVID. But yeah, I'd been up here. My sister had been living up here for years, and she was, every time I came up, she's like, see how amazing it is? I'm like, yeah, I know. And funny story, I actually put a post on my Instagram about 3 or 4 years before I actually moved up here, saying, open for job offers. And as it was, I ended up getting a job up here and moving up. So it was fabulous. I guess relocating to Ballina during COVID, amazing opportunity, a great community. We weren't subject to a lot of or as lengthy restrictions, as other people, which was really fortunate.
Yeah.
When you first moved up here, so you hadn't been working in Sydney at that stage because of COVID. I first met you as part of what was NICE, now called the Self-Employment Assistance Program. And that's actually an awesome program that supports anyone looking to start a new small business in Australia. And it's a Australia-wide program. Tell me a bit about your experience with that.
Yeah, I mean, we feel that we were extremely lucky that we could access that program because we were a chef and we were doing it for a long time, but I guess opening a business, it was a little bit more complex in the sense that you needed to put in paper, finances, research, a business plan that we felt overwhelmed and we didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
So I think being able to be part of that program and to do those things, it was super helpful. Really good experience.
Yeah, I think that's true for lots of people that go into small business, right? Because you have a specific skill set and something that you're really good at doing, and you have a dream. But then there's these other things that company structure, my financial projections, all those sorts of things. Talking about all those sorts of things in starting the business, what did you find some of the biggest challenges in that stage of getting the shop fitted out and even to a space where you could actually launch the business?
Yeah, I think it was challenging to find a spot in this area. They had some minimum requirements that they were optimal for opening a restaurant.
Yeah.
Because it's not many commercial spaces. in Ballina, and there are some, but they're more focused into an office or shop.
Okay.
So for hospitality business, there were not that many, and so we found this place where it had some of the perks that we are talking about, and then we needed to think how we were going to design the layout to be able to, set up a restaurant in such a small place. So we contacted a designer, and actually we did contact the builder, and the builder brought the designer. It was good. I think, as in every project with sometimes buildings and buildings, is very challenging because obviously it's your business and you have a time frame or a time where you really need to start creating some income.
Yeah.
And obviously that timing doesn't work. It's not the same for everyone.
Correct.
So it is like now if we think back, we'd probably be a little bit more realistic in timing and maybe extending a little bit more.
Yeah, I have to say, anyone that I know that's actually opened a restaurant has never opened it when they anticipated they would open it. It's like there's all sorts of unforeseen things to do with, getting rewiring for electricity and then lining up trades. It can be particularly, especially if you are planning to do any of your fit out over Christmas because the trades shut down for a month.
Yeah, that happened to us. We needed a specific approval for the plumbing, and it was a week before Christmas, and everyone was shutting up for Christmas for 4 weeks. So that already delayed the project for 3 weeks.
Yeah, and in the meantime, you are investing all of not just time but money.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people who might be considering opening a cafe or restaurant may not be aware that sometimes you can negotiate a rent-free period at the start of your lease. Is that what you guys did here?
Yeah, we did that. I have friends who have owned a restaurant previously, so that was one of the advice they said. And just make sure that you always, because it's gonna take you a little while to build or make it as you want it. So it's good if you negotiate some free rent period from the beginning. Even we went past that free period, but it was nice to feel that with all the financial pressure that you have, it was a little bit, one of those pressures was a little bit off at the beginning.
That's important. So how did you decide kind of where to position yourself in the market in Ballina? Because obviously Lola Dining is a little bit different, and 2.5, almost 3 years ago was quite different to a lot of the restaurants that are here. What sort of influenced that?
To be honest, I don't think we thought about that much.
Yeah.
I thought we knew the kind of way that we like to eat.
Yeah.
And we know what do we want to cook. And I think from that perspective, it came a little bit the budget itself. Yeah. We didn't think we don't want to go fine dining because it's not who we are. Even if we have been working in fine dining for many, many years, but we think it has changed a little bit the experience. The people, I don't think. I mean, it's good that you have those restaurants where it's what they want to do and it's a little bit more formal. But I think people these days want to experience a little bit more dynamic dining.
Yeah.
Still, you have really good food and good wine, but no appetite, or not like you go for lunch. You're there for like 5 or 6 hours, which is nice. But sometimes people know what they want to do. You know what I mean? Sometimes we have people that have kids. And it's like, okay, we're going to babysitter for 2 hours. Just feed us.
In and out. Yeah.
So
yeah. Who do you find are your best customers here?
I think that's very interesting because when we opened Lola, we thought, okay, Ballina is transitioning into something a little bit more younger population, and it's true, But I think one of the things actually we got wrong is that we thought it was going to be more younger population with a disposable income.
Okay.
And that actually hasn't been true.
Yeah.
I think our bread and butter these days is people probably in the late 50s, early 60s, where they're probably not off mortgages and still having time to go out and spend some money. We find that the younger people are mostly families. They feel tied, or either with money or either with the resources, getting a babysitter, and so for them it's a bit more difficult to go out and spend.
Yeah, harder to organise.
Yeah.
And less disposable income.
Yeah.
When you first opened, the region went into lockdown, didn't it? Like almost immediately from it.
Yeah, we opened actually on the 1st of April, which was Easter weekend. And I think by August, because it was Russell's birthday, we were already in lockdown. So April, May, June, 3 months, and then we went to lockdown. It was interesting.
So you find out we're going into lockdown, and what were your initial thoughts? You were like,
but not really want to do takeaway. We don't think. I mean, we didn't.
Your food is so amazing, but it's also, the experience here is amazing.
Yeah,
so
we thought it was like I didn't want to put our food in takeaway containers.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's not something that.
And send it 20 minutes so it's half cold.
Yeah, and you eat it cold, or you eat it like it's. Yeah, I felt like this is not what I want to do.
Yeah.
So what we did, we created dishes, or we did create a pack. You can get it. I think it was weekly. Yeah. So it was dishes that they would support more the takeaway format.
Yeah. Okay. So it wasn't the same dishes that you would normally serve.
No, we
in
had
a
a special menu. We had a special menu, and it was like a dinner for two. And I think that it make us feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
that people were going to eat something half an hour later that it still was good and not that it wasn't going to be edible, but that you feel proud of. These people are eating these 2 hours after we box it, and it still it's nice.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
So that that worked out really. I don't want to say really well because we were only paying the bills.
Yeah, but it allowed you to stay open and trade.
Allowed us to trade and to at least to hold in there until things
eased up.
Eased up. Yeah.
So when we came out of lockdown, there were still restrictions, right?
Yeah.
Like how many people per square meter and all that. How did you find that? Did you what did you do in the restaurant to kind of address that? Did you have to do like multiple really strict seatings, or
Well, that was very interesting because there was the rules where it was a particular people per square meter.
Yeah.
But also for small restaurants, it was a cap. So I remember you can apply the rule of the meters, or you can apply that you can cut it in 25 people.
Yeah.
And that's your maximum capacity. And that actually worked really well for us because our maximum capacity is 25.
Oh, perfect.
So we were lucky because a lot of people wanted to eat outdoors.
Yeah.
So we had that possibility. And then we did space the tables a little bit more, but we didn't really have to change that much our layout in the restaurant.
So that allowed you to get a bit more established once all that was kind of lockdown was finished.
Yeah.
Then fast forward a year, and Lola was flooded in the 2022 March floods, right?
Yeah.
That an awful time for everybody in region, but also for yourselves after having just gone through, that having friends, having yourselves impacted, the business impacted. What was kind of your secret in responding to that?
Well, I think at the beginning we were a little bit, okay, this is not going to happen. Because I remember, we were watching the news on Sunday, what was happening with Lismore, and we knew we were going to get flooded. So everyone got sandbags and all this, and we put it in, out at the back, and thought, yeah, we're good. This is not going to happen. We're good. We're fine. And then as the time but passing, we could see that, oh no, this is going to happen. Oh no. So I think that was, looking back now, and we thought, well, there's not much we can do. It's just, if it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
And I think we can just hope for the best that nothing is going to get too much damage.
Yeah.
And I think we were extremely lucky because we didn't lose that many appliances.
Okay.
At the beginning we thought, okay, it's going to be pretty bad,
Yeah.
but no, we actually saved pretty much all our fridges. We only lost one dishwasher, and I think that was all. We lost one back fridge in the back and the dishwasher, and the freezer. But so that was pretty good. Like because actually the water only stayed for one night.
Yeah.
And when we realized, okay, that's all we lost.
Yeah.
Just thought, okay, we'll just get in, start cleaning, and think about when we can open again.
Yeah, because you were open within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I remember seeing on your Instagram, I was like, awesome.
Yeah.
It's getting back to business, right? Because it was such a really traumatic time for so many people in region, and to have some sense of normalcy with services and hospitality open again would have been reassuring to be able to access that. Like I remember, obviously remember all the FPOS went down.
Yeah.
Everyone had to use cash for a while. Then we were run out of petrol. You couldn't get petrol. Yeah. But what I find super interesting is, like, I talk to you and I'm like, okay, so you've been through, there was delays with obviously opening, then you went into lockdown, had to pivot, then the business got flooded. And as soon as I mentioned that to you, your immediate response is, oh yeah, but we were so lucky. And it's ironic, every single person I speak to that was affected in the floods has the same response. They could have lost their entire home, but they're like, oh no, but we're so lucky because we're living in a caravan, And everyone, I've found that that's really a community sentiment, No one is like, oh, poor me. Everyone, and it was, evident in how everyone responded to it. Everyone was just like, dig in, help out your neighbour, help out your friend, help out the people you don't even know,
Yeah, that was amazing. I think that was one of the amazing things that came out of this devastating event, that everyone felt, still again, goosebumps, because I remember having people just walking in on the street, oh, do you need help? No, we're good, okay. I remember these guys, they were like huge guys. It's like, oh, do you need any help? I was like, yeah, actually, the fridge at the back. Okay, wait, I called my cousin. And they came, they just grabbed the fridge and just,
awesome.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And then when we had everything clean, we actually went to Waddell to help some friends that they lost everything in their house. And I mean, I just sometimes I look back and it's like, how I'm going to complain when I still and the sense, I remember going home after being in their place and in their street, because everyone was in the same situation, what I could go to a clean bed, have a shower, and be dry and comfortable in my bed. It's like, I cannot complain at all. I remember just being these groups of people, just random people just showing up at your doorstep or other people's doorstep. It's like, okay, are you okay? What do you need? Do you need this? I remember being my friend's place and these guys just, and I was like, well, what do you want? The walls pull? And I was like, whoa, okay. Yeah. Now leave the walls alone. The walls are fine. We don't need the walls ripped off. But yeah, they were so energetic and so like, I'm here to help. And that was amazing.
Yeah, I think we saw like the true nature of the Northern Rivers really, come to the fore at that time. And that's something that I've, like the community here, I appreciate so much. It's pretty special.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to talk a little bit now, if it's okay, about the male-female gender kind of gap. I know on your website you mentioned that Lola is a space to celebrate non-conformity to gender stereotypes and praise diversity and inclusion. When I was doing some reading, I actually read that there's a ratio of about 12-1 male-female in hospitality, and that out of over 2,000 Michelin-starred restaurants in 2022, only 6% of them were female-led, which is like a travesty, right? I also read, probably not a good thing to read, was that someone suggested, I don't know who, I won't name any names of journalists, but that it might be because women don't like being in hot, sweaty, dirty environments like the kitchen. I was kind of offended. But what do you kind of believe is key to seeing that gender gap reduced in hospitality in Australia?
That's a very good question.
Well, I guess first, like, what maybe do you perceive are the barriers to, why do you think that maybe there is such a big disparity and so many males in the industry?
I remember Rosa and I talking about this. I think one and more that cooking has become more technological, and we don't do this. We don't rely on strength anymore. Because even if you work in big hotels, you have equipment are prepared for those big loads. They are very good to do on your own, or normally health and safety requires to do it for more one people. So I don't think that gender and that strength is required for the cooking anymore. I think hospitality it's an industry that is hard, I think, in the working hours, and more when you get into high levels. I think it's not very compatible, unfortunately, with motherhood. And I think that's one of the reasons why we fall a little bit behind, unfortunately. Because when you want to get more into fine dining or more cooking, we mostly trade in the night. And it's very hard to, unfortunately, women is still
primary
carers or doing mostly of the caring work in the family unit. And I think that is one of the things that happens once you want a family life. You need to access the working life, and it's really hard to stay on the job and having those things. And because it's we say medium to low income, I'm sure probably the other person in the family unit earns more money. So you have to sacrifice. I mean, it's what you do normally.
So, I did. When I had my first child, my ex-husband was earning more money than me, and so it was made the decision that I would stay home for a little while.
So I think there's a decision that you make, and even if it's happening across the board in every sector, I think sometimes different sectors can put some benefits to this, so you can maybe get childcare in the building, or because in this industry like us, hospitality, it has very, very small percentage of profit. It's really hard to implement those things in the workplace to benefit women in
so
that.
It's something that perhaps would need more policy, at a governmental level, perhaps, to put supports in place and support the businesses themselves, because if there are small margins, and there are those barriers, I guess, with the family unit requiring female interaction at a higher level. It's really interesting. But I have to say, for 2 female chefs and owners, the food here is like all time. So both yourself and your partner Rosa are owners of the business. Who's responsible for what?
Well, I think we try to be pretty equal. Because it's nice to feel like we balance. But I think we definitely Rosa does all the wine, because she has a great palate and she's really good at it. So I just say, okay, I don't need to do that. That's something that you do. I don't need to know anything about it. Is your domain. I do, for example, the bookkeeping. But we try to give each other jobs, so we don't have to think about those things.
Okay.
Because there's so many things in a business.
So individual responsibilities.
Yeah. So many things that you have to do that sometimes it's good to know that, okay, you do that, I do this. And because we trust each other, it's like, I don't need to know. It's good that...
Don't need to check up.
Yeah.
Make sure
it's good that if that thing in my mind, it's gone. Stick off, you do it. At least there's something happens that we need to talk about it. We make a decision together.
Yeah.
But it's good to... I mean, sometimes I think she does more work than I do.
Oh, okay, this thing
I'm
goes.
not saying that. Because she, everyone thinks she's the front of house, but she actually does the cooking as well.
Wow.
And she does the prep. When we hear prepping, it's just at some point she steps out and does the front of house.
Yeah, beautiful. And you recently brought on another chef as well.
Yeah, Denise, which is it's really nice to have her on board.
Yeah.
I've
I've been hearing from everyone, it's really hard to get staff at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's hospitality. It's something that you do while you doing something else. You know what I mean? It's like a transition period that you use.
A lot of people have it like a filler.
Yeah, it's like it's something that you have an income while you are studying or you're doing something.
Yeah.
That's going to be your main focus. It's not something that I really work in hospitality and this is what I do.
Yeah.
We don't get that many people up here. I think they're always in big cities when you can, work for restaurants where you have
a lot of hours.
Yeah.
A lot of shifts and that sort of thing. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? What sort of impact have you seen as well from like the interest rate rises that we've had on the business and hospitality in general?
Oh, I think there's been a very... yes, we have noticed it. I mean, now the mortgages are double than it was 6 months ago. And I think, we know an essential service, even if we like to go out and it's good. Yeah. But I think it's the first thing that people cut off.
It's discretionary spending, right?
Yeah, I think people are, maybe for a birthday or for an anniversary, people, that's the plan, and maybe say, okay, maybe we have a little bit less takeaway this week, and we focus more in that dinner that night.
Yeah. I think, and even the cost of your raw ingredients would have gone up a lot.
Yeah.
I don't cook a lot, I've got to admit. But I did, my sister had a lunch, which was bring a share pot, a hot pot sort of thing on Sunday at her house, and I went and bought some sour cream, and I was like, oh my God, it's literally like twice the price that it used to be.
Yeah.
Crazy.
We noticed that, and when the petrol went up heaps, 3 months ago, everything was going up, the deliveries and everything, because obviously they delivered to you. Yeah. So they cost them more. So it was an increase on that as well.
Yeah. So across the board.
Across the board is in the last 6 months, probably 25% of everything has gone up.
Yeah. I think, though, you have such a great established network in the community and of guests that dine here. When I've talked to you before about what do you think is the reason behind Lola's success, you've talked about how you look at it as you're almost welcoming people into your home, right?
Yeah, we do think it like that, because it's a small space, it is our space. We are the owners. We here, we serve, we cook you, we clean your dishes. It's very, in a way, intimate and personal. Yeah. And obviously we interact with you as much as you want. And I mean, we have nights in here that people, actually we were going down because the table started to talk to each other, and I was like, oh my God, they just like talking to
Making
each
new
other,
friends.
making new friends. And so it is nice to see the people get that that kind of feeling, that kind of vibe they want to put in here.
Yeah.
It's yes, you come here and you a unit, the 2 people that come, or the 4 people, but at some point you can see that it goes beyond you.
Yeah, you become more like part of
something.
Holistic experience, right?
Yeah.
And I think that is like everyone that I've spoken to that's dined here, they're like, oh my God, yes. Tell Olivia or tell Rosa I said hi. It's like they're like your new BFF.
Yeah, we have, seriously, we have customers that now become friends, and we go for lunch at their places, or they come to our place, and you know, sometimes they're just doing something around it. Oh, we'll just pop in and say hello.
Yeah.
And friends who are part of the community garden in Ballina, and they bring us things. Like we have people, this woman who's a neighbour lives around here. Just one day rock up and her entire car was full of lemongrass. And she said,
wow.
oh, do you want some lemongrass? And she did that before with basil. So we got a lot of people that give cucumbers. They give us a lot of things from the gardens just because I got a lot and I'm going to use it. You guys use it.
Yeah, and then you're able to like use locally sourced, sustainable produce.
Yeah, so it's
awesome.
That's we feel very lucky about that. And the people feel comfortable just, to come and give us things.
Yeah.
Which is, it's nice. It's just not that barrier. It's like, it's just random restaurant.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyone that's worked in hospitality, they understand that it's like 24/7, especially if you've owned a restaurant. It's like even the days you're not open, you're going to a supplier or you're getting a tradie in to fix something that needs it. How do you make sure, and Rosa, that you kind of get downtime and the opportunity to decompress a bit?
Yeah. I'm not going to lie, that's hard, and for us it's a challenge. This is, it is hard because it's your baby.
Yeah.
And sometimes, it's kind of like, want to leave your baby there when you know that something's happened. And I think knowing ourselves, we know that every 6 to 7 weeks we need something just to focus on us. So we're trying to take some time off and go away. Because we noticed that if we stay here, we're so close that we keep doing things in here.
Yep.
So we kind of take it away and in that place.
So you schedule it ahead of time and you take yourself out of this environment.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Yeah. Because being so close for us is
you can
not
just
possible.
duck on in to the restaurant and do something quickly.
I'm quickly doing this. Oh, no, so taking away yourself from the situation, it's a bonus.
You can mentally detach from it too, I think.
Yeah. So we tried that is something that we learned because we start to get a bit cranky and extremely stressed. And
Because it's full on. It's all day, every day, pretty much. And the night times. I think a lot of people that haven't owned a restaurant or worked in hospitality before, they're like, oh, but you only open from like 5 till 10. You must have so much spare time.
I know, a lot of people say to us, oh, Wednesday to Saturday, you live in the dream. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off. And we're like,
not really.
Yeah, no, not really. Like Sunday's the only day we're trying to completely off. And then it's a lot of office jobs, auditing, planning, doing this, it's casual. It's not. You wish it was 3 days off.
Look, on your website, you talk about Lola being born to celebrate passion for food and connection with people. I know when I first tried to book, I couldn't even get a table when you first opened. And I really appreciate the way whenever I come in through the door, whether I'm just popping my head in and saying hello or when I've eaten here, you and Rosa always greet everyone with a smile. How do you always stay positive? Aside from like booking, a regular getaway, are there do you have sort of things you do in your daily schedule that actually keep you really positive and able to give out? Because you're both so happy and engaging and your energy's always up, and when people finish interacting with you, they come away feeling really good.
Yeah, I think 'cause sometimes it's easy because it's kind of like, well, this is our dream, and we're very lucky we've been able to achieve our dream, and we're very, yeah, we feel very good that people wants to come here and celebrate something special with us, or like let us to be part of the special occasions of that. Really make us happy. So sometimes it's and also, knowing them what that makes them, what they like, what they don't like, because we think that we have a lot of returning customers. So just the fact to see them again and remember what they're drinking and makes them feel special because we conscious that people come here and spend a particular amount of money and want to show them that we're grateful.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you both like truly have a hospitable heart. It's about making people feel special and giving them that experience. Not a QR code inside. No. So if you had to share your top lesson that you've taken away from starting up a restaurant, what would be your top lesson or top tip for someone that was thinking of starting a cafe or restaurant for themselves?
And be patient. Be patient. That's your dream. It's achievable. If we have done it, anyone could do it. But it's just stay true to what you want and be patient and just don't leave it.
Great tip.
Yeah.
Keep pushing on through.
Keep pushing through. It happens. Sometimes, obviously, it doesn't happen to the speed or that we want. And we all feel that in frustration. But I think be patient and be gentle with yourself as well. I think, hospitality is a really tough industry and it's many hits from many places. But so I think you have to remember that we're still humans and to allow our emotions and be patient.
Thank you. You've done an awesome job here. Before we finish up, I do have a fast four that may or may not have any relevance at all to the restaurant industry. Okay. As now a Northern Rivers local for the past few years, what's your favourite waterfall hike?
I have to say we haven't done a hike in a long, long time. But I actually have to say it's not waterfall, but it's just the river.
Yeah.
Here in Ballina.
It's a beautiful walk along there, isn't it?
It's nice. It's calm. Normally do that with the dog, so it's our Sunday walk. So
nice. And see, this is underscoring the 24/7 nature of having your own business and in hospitality, right? Okay. Are you reading a book currently or listening to an Audible or podcast that you'd like to recommend?
It's funny because I normally I listen to podcasts about just about exercise.
Nice.
Yeah, I do like exercise, so that is my normally podcast to go to. Weightlifting, training,
beautiful.
Things, tuning.
Yeah, awesome. It's always a good way of good thing to learn more about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cannot interview someone who owns their own restaurant without asking what is the best meal you have eaten in your entire life.
Oh, that's a big question because, look, I love pizza. Pizza will be my last meal.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
I love pizza. So
it is amazing.
I think anytime where I have a good pizza and a good company, I will be okay. That would be my.
Is there one particular place you've eaten pizza that really takes the cake? Bad dad joke there, but of stands out as memorable. And it could be like a little hole in the wall somewhere in Spain or.
Oh, no, I had really good pizza in Sydney. I think, and even I take myself out for pizza when Ross and I were commuting from Sydney to here, and I just love it. I think it's the moment where I'm very relaxed. It brings me childhood memories. I think that's where it's really, like pizza. Some people think it's not like it's good. Not like.
It is.
Top there.
I don't think there's anyone that doesn't like pizza, I've got to be honest. But seeing you said pizza, I do have to ask you, pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
Well, I have to say, I don't mind.
Hey!
But I don't do it because, Russia and Italians thinks it's it's
Fair
no.
enough. Yeah.
It's a big no. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we'll
Okay.
just get a margarita. Just simple, nice, beautiful.
Nice. Okay. And last question. And this, I'm not promoting any particular fast food chain, but I'm always curious for people that have an appreciation of fine dining. When was the last time you ate at McDonald's?
Yeah, that was an interesting story. I think it was probably just a few months after we opened.
Yeah.
And we were prepping here, and I think it was maybe 8:30 or 9, and it wasn't that late, but we could not get hot chips in Ballina. Like everything was closed, and when I was, I want hot chips. It was kind of like a kid. I want hot
Maybe.
chips. So we drove to McDonald's at the petrol station in the roundabout, and we'd never been there. So we were driving opposite to all the traffic, and the guy had to get out of McDonald's and go, "You guys, what are you doing? You're going the wrong way." Like, oh, okay.
No sneaking into McDonald's for you.
Yeah. Reversing, trying to go the right way. It's like, okay, this is pretty embarrassing. We probably should have done it again.
Did you get sauce for the chips?
Yeah, tomato sauce. Always.
Yeah. Nice.
Always.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Olivia.
You're
I
very
really
welcome.
appreciated the chat and the time you've taken.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been great talking to you.
To our amazing listeners, thank you so much for joining me today. If you've enjoyed the podcast, please remember to like and share it. And if you have any questions or comments, please drop me a line. My details are in the show notes below. I'm the Workforce Australia Entrepreneurship Facilitator for the Richmond, Tweed, Ballina region, offering free business advisory one-on-one sessions, free networking events and workshops. I'd love to catch up and connect with you soon, but in the meantime, remember, you don't need to be great to start, but you do need to start to be great.